There are a few people who are late, but I think we'll start. So let me just briefly introduce myself before we start. So my name is Vikrant Rava, and I'm from Intriguity. So we represent Orbit 2 photography systems in India. So basically, this seminar is organized by JESPA. So just to give you a bit of background about JESPA. JESPA stands for Jewelry E-commerce Photography E-commerce Service Providers Association. So the whole idea of creating a platform where the entire service providers can come together and address the needs of the jewelers under one platform is because we see there is a lot of opportunity for jewelers in e-commerce, be it B2C, B2B space, and we feel there is a lot of gap in between what the jewelers know and what they can do, especially in the e-commerce space. So if you see e-commerce, there is a whole lot of applications, right from websites to app development to photography, jewelry rendering, logistics. So JESPA aims to be a bridge or a kind of a helping ground for jewelers to assist them in various aspects of e-commerce. So that's the whole idea about JESPA. So this is the first seminar. We have been regularly doing webinars and we've got excellent turnouts. So this is the first seminar we are doing. So we'll have two aspects to it. One, we'll talk about jewelry photography, what is the requirement and how jewelers can easily do jewelry photography and videography, basically create content. And the second aspect, we have Yash from Triologic, who is going to address the app development part, where jewelers have an option to create an app, showcase all their designs to their customers. These are the two things we try to cover. So first of all, we need to find out what is the requirement of imaging. Traditionally jewelers, the traditional way of jewelry being sold is through retail showrooms. So the whole landscape has changed over the past 2 decades. The influence of digital content and digital sites and media has come up. So obviously each and every jewelers know that now images are important. So now I've been talking to jewelers who say that now we have to sell images first prior to selling jewelry. So even if your customer is a wholesaler or a retailer or an end customer, so they request images to see and then they select designs and then they come. So the importance of images has become more. So images are required in the entire value chain, right from wholesalers. So there are 2 things where images are needed. So one is you would need images to entice the customers. So you would need images to make hoardings or make Google ads or YouTube ads or any content which is to get the customer to your shop, be it to your website or to your physical store. So basically you need images for creating the kind of demand. And in the second phase, you need images to engage the audience. So if your audience has come to your website or if they have come to your store, so at that point of time you would also need images to show them. Especially in a website, you need good images to show them, good content to show them, so that they can actually finalize and make a sale. So these are the 2 ways you can use images. So if you look at the major content types, I would like to take the concept of images even further, because now we are talking about user experience, the engagement very evolving. Pass on information that is really required to make a sale, and at the same time create a kind of an exciting content and a very user-friendly content where the customer can actually experience the product, not just see images. So now content has become important, not just images. We are moving to a phase where we will have 360-degree videos, where a user can actually rotate, zoom in, zoom out, and experience the product like he would experience in the store. So even this is becoming important. So we obviously plain images are important in creative shots, but as I said, creative 360-degree videos are becoming more and more used in the jewelry industry also. So these are major content types, including creative ads. So now let's just discuss briefly about the online channels. So what are the basically online channels and why a jeweler has to go online? So now you must have heard about the omni-channel approach. So even if you don't want to sell online, or you don't want to have a website where you want to sell, but even then you will have to be present online because your customer is actually online. He is spending most of his time engaged with his mobile or on a website. So even though you don't intend to sell online, but you would eventually need to actually be online to showcase your product. So some of the objectives here to go online is to remotely showcase products. A lot of your stock actually lies dead, either in a store or even if you are a distributor or a manufacturer. So it lies dead. So if you create images or content around those products, so you stand a chance to sell those. Otherwise, it just lies dead. So obviously, to attract new clients, you need images and content. So create a fan following. So now a lot of jewelers I know who are retailers, they are creating a social media presence and creating a faithful fan following, so that even though they are not selling products to them now, so down the line 6 months or a year they are going to buy, because they are going to constantly keep engaging with the customer and involving them about their products, informing them about their products. So this has become very, very important. So you can announce new products, you can announce collections, new collections. Also it's social media, it's all related. So some of the online channels which you can explore is, if you are especially in the B2B space, I would suggest you have an app, because that is more in terms of showing the stock to your set inside the app, so you know who's actually viewing what. So of course Triologic, we have Yash who's going to talk more about the app development. And websites can be used more so in a B2C kind of an environment where you want to actually sell jewelry online, or it can be an informative introductory kind of website where you have some minimal products, not show the whole catalog. So a lot of clients, wholesalers especially, I have seen, are using a channel of WhatsApp. So they have broadcast list where they actually keep in touch and introduce their new products to their clients by WhatsApp. You can just take product. We actually have created now engaging content with WhatsApp, where you can actually send a link to a customer and the link can lead them to a website where they can actually engage a 360-degree way and also place orders in the same way. So WhatsApp can be a very good media for you to keep in touch with your customers regularly. So social media, I spoke about creating a fan following, creating a base where you actually nurture and engage with your customers on a regular basis. So this, I think every jeweler now is doing more or less. But how engaging is their social media, what kind of approaches they are doing, so that depends from jeweler to jeweler, but every jeweler now at least has a social media place. So apart from this, you can also, there is a huge opportunities, especially even to exporters who can actually list their products on marketplaces such as Amazon and eBay. So their images also play a very important role, a good image which is up to the standard of Amazon. So we have customers who have done really good on marketplaces, and a lot of my customers actually don't know that this option exists, because it needs some dedicated effort, but once you actually explore that and you do consistent efforts, there is a lot of business that happens, because your customers are already shopping on eBay and Amazon. So, and if they have to buy jewelry, so it's, the day is not far, they are going to do it in India also. But in US, US and Europe, a lot of jewelry purchases are happening through marketplaces. So something about Multiverse, wherein now the future, what is being seen is basically create a virtual environment wherein you can actually virtually visit a store and have real-time engaging content, real-time engaging interface with the product. So this is something you can actually own a physical store, I mean in a virtual space. It's not like a website, but it's like a store where a customer can actually experience entering a store and seeing the products, jewelry, and engaging with the products real time. So there, of course, we will play an important role, because the experience would also be in a 360 kind of interface. So he will actually experience the product like probably he's experiencing in a real store. He will want to rotate it, he will want to actually see the features. So all information can also be embedded. So our solution can actually be a very good platform if somebody wants to work on the Multiverse platform in the near future. So let's just talk a little bit about the two methods what we have for jewelry. So there are only two ways you can showcase your products. One is digitally render it, like you don't have a physical product, but you just can render it using a CAD file and then showcase it. So some of the advantages I see of rendering is it looks really good, like it looks very enticing for a customer to see a rendered image and buy it. So a lot of people who are into diamond jewelry are using rendering. On the flip side, it looks so good, probably the real product may not match to the standards as how rendering is looking. So a lot of times we see that there are returns because what you show is not what you get. So your rejection rates may be slightly higher in rendering. Also, you can't do all jewelry, you can't render, like for example handmade jewelry, kundan, polki. So you don't have a physical, you don't have a CAD file for it. So you don't have the option of rendering it. So only products that are casted, more so, can be rendered. And even in that, I would suggest that more into the low value diamond arena, you can use rendering. On the other hand, photography is, can you go back? Yeah. On the other hand, photography may not be as beautiful as a rendered animation or image, but it will give a realistic look. But the kind of quality now we are achieving with automated photography systems is, I would say, much close to what rendering can offer, and in some cases even better. I mean, if you look at some of the pictures we shot, they actually can give the renders run for their money. So yeah, photography can be used to give a realistic look. However, you need some amount of investment to be done. You have to buy a decent camera, and if you have the budget, you can go for an automated system. So yeah, so let me at this point just briefly explain what is automated photography. So why automation is needed also. So like in every process, why is automated needed? Once the scale goes beyond a certain level, you would need automation, because then 3 or 4 things becomes important. One is consistency, because when you are doing 200,000 products, the consistency in terms of lights, the consistency in terms of angles, the consistency in terms of the quality of image you get also plays an important role. Also, you would need more images to be shot, so you can't just spend your time doing post-processing. So what you do is, in a traditional environment, you would actually use some kind of a basic light to click a picture, and then you would use your Photoshop or some other tool to edit it, which takes a lot of time, because I have seen customers like you spend about 30 to 45 minutes just trying to edit, remove the background, bringing the entire product in focus. So it takes a lot of time. So when you don't have that time and when you want to do something in volume, you need automation. Just go back and just get. So secondly, post-processing is also very important, I spoke about, because not just the time required, but also the quality of post-processing, the quality of diamonds also plays an important role. The kind of lighting we use also imparts the depth in the stones, gives the brilliance in a diamond, and also the look of the gold is totally different. So what would be the requirement of a good jewelry image? If you want to showcase an image to a customer, what are the things which are important and which probably matter to a customer? So one is, I would suggest that the entire jewelry should be in focus, so that it should not be a lot of macro photography. When you go into, you try to focus at one part, but the other part becomes defocused. So then you'll have to take multiple shots, merge them. So then focus is what our software has the ability to basically take multiple shots and merge them together in one single click. So that requirement is met. Second is when you are using, even if you want to upload your image on a website, or if you want to use it in a catalog, or if you want to use it in a social media page, you would require a PNG image. A PNG image is basically something that it just shows the product, not the background. So a traditional image, what the software does is basically you just click an image, it comes with a background. But when you want to insert that image in a social media page where you have some kind of a background, you need a cropped image, because you just need the product, you don't need the cutout. So our software is able to actually remove the background while doing the shot, and then you can use that. So it's like a single click automated system. Second is, even though you can do the focus and the background removal manually, jewelry lighting becomes very critical, because if you have improper lighting and if you don't use proper spotlights or proper brilliance lights to give the depth, you will not be able to achieve a good quality picture. So in that case, our lighting system is basically, we'll talk about that, but just to give you a brief, our lighting system is suited for jewelry photography, but we'll talk about it a little more. So that gives you that stone clarity, what we were talking about. So I think we already spoke about this, but just to give you an additional information, we spoke about images, videos and 360-degree animations. So the difference between animation, a video, and a 360-degree animation is that a 360-degree animation is can be actually manipulated. I mean, your user can interface it, he can rotate it with his hand and zoom in and zoom out, whereas a video is just a static rotation. You can't really engage with that video. But a 360, you can actually engage with it and zoom in and zoom out. Orbit Tour is something which we have, where in addition to the user engaging with the content, you as a seller can embed information within that. You can actually specify what is the stone size, and that will be marked in the form of a thumbnail. So when a user is actually engaging with it, he will see a small thumbnail and he will just click on it, he'll see the information there. So if you want to showcase the stone, so a ruby, which is basically some carat and some clarity, so you can just add a thumbnail there, and when your user is actually engaging with the content, when he clicks on that, he can see that information. So the idea is to show the product as well as convey the information within seconds. So within 10 seconds, which is the attention span of a buyer, may not be as long. So within 10 to 15 seconds, you are not just showing the product, but also conveying your information to it. So that is very, very useful. So we'll shortly go with the live demo also, but let me just brief you a little bit about the system. So now this is the machine, right? So this is called Alphashot Micro V2. So this is from a company. Alphashot Micro V2 is the name of the brand. So, and the name of the company is Orbit Boo. So Orbit Boo is a company based out in Poland. So they have about 200 employees and have around 8 systems. So for jewelry, this is the system, but we have other systems for shoes, for bags, and for fashion. So we have about 7 to 8 different systems. But the Alphashot Micro is more suited for macro photography. So some of the features in this machine is it has a patented cylindrical lighting system. So this is being designed keeping in mind the lighting requirements of jewelry, because jewelry will require lighting throughout around it. So this is able to deliver that kind of this. You can do that. You have brilliance lights which have been added in the V2, which we'll be showing, which actually are a set of lights which when you're shooting diamond jewelry, it actually reflects the entire brilliance lights is going to reflect in each and every diamond. So if you have 100 diamonds, the normal light will not reflect in each and every diamond. It will not reflect at all. But the brilliance lights will reflect in each and every stone. And the brilliance of the stone is revealed. So that is the beauty. So yeah, so apart from that, you have for achieving the consistency in image, you can actually note down what are the angles you are taking, and also the camera is marked, so you know at what location the camera is located, so you can achieve the consistency in angle. You have to a spotlight, so if you want, if you're doing videos, you can actually use that, and the diamonds reflects very nice. We also give you 3 turntables in this machine, where you get a black turntable, you get a white turntable, and you get a grey turntable or a transparent turntable. So this is used for different ways, like we use black turntable for videos and the transparent one for creating videos. So yeah, I explained to you about this. So now we have also moved to USB-C. We no longer use USB-B because USB-C the data transfer is much faster, and as I said, we have the integrated camera support and interchangeable tables. We also give you reflectors. If you can open that show the reflector. So some of the customers would like certain reflections on the metal. So a lot of our customers in the US or even in India who are doing exports would like certain black reflections falling on the metal area of the jewelry. So you are free to add. We give you reflectors. So those actually give that kind of reflection. So you can use them or you choose not to use them, but these are something which are optionally given. So okay, so now I'll stop here and we'll go with a live demo. So just can you start the software and begin? Okay, man, get started with the machine. So if we take a small break, 10 minutes.
Bottom of my heart to stay here with us and to join us with this initiative from JESPA. As Vikrant rightly said, JESPA stands for Jewelry E-Commerce Service Providers Association. This is the first ever presentation which we are doing physically. We've been doing a lot of webinars, but we aim to do this and meet more and more fellow industry members so that we can explain and guide or showcase what we have, what all of these vendors, all of us have for the jewelry e-commerce space. So hi, let me first introduce myself. My name is Yash Shah. I'm the Managing Director of Triologic Enterprises Private Limited. We are based out of Mumbai. We have our office in Dadar and we have multiple branch offices as well. We've been servicing the jewelry industry for the past 12 years and we've helped and worked with almost close to over 500 manufacturers and wholesalers across the country and a few abroad as well for various different types of tech implementations. So, right from cataloging, ERP implementations to various different things which involve software overall. Yeah. My personal mantra in life and in business is organized growth, and that's why even Triologic's motto or tagline we can say is called organized growth. The idea here is that every one of us are doing something or the other to make money, make our business grow, do something or the other so that everything falls in the vision which we have. But until unless it's not organized, we are running a rat race. So according to what we really feel or what I personally feel is that until unless you have not organized your compartments of your life, okay, till that time it's gonna be a big of a havoc. Yeah. Now let me throw light on my topic really here. So I'm going to be talking about how can a B2B app help you to generate more sales and how can be more effective and efficient. Yeah. Now, just by show of hands, how many people here are doing B2B in the audience which we have? B2B sales, anything to do with B2B. B2B means you're a manufacturer, wholesaler selling to a retailer, right? So okay, great, thank you so much. And what about B2C? How many people are here doing B2C where you're a retailer? मतलब आप एक retail का दुकान है आपका और वो आप retail में डायरेक्ट customer को अगर आप बेच रहे हो, तो how many people are doing retail? Yeah. So okay. And what about how many people are just trying and exploring how online can really help. So if online is even the right way to move further, how many people are just still in the exploring phase that online kya kar sakta hai? Yeah, by show of hands. Okay, perfect. Great. So let me explain you first of all why an app, okay, and why an app specifically for B2B. Let me first focus all my time and effort on B2B first. Yeah. So I would like to start this with a quote from Steve Jobs. Okay, so the quote says, "Get closer than ever to your customer. So close, in fact, that you tell them what they need even before them they realizing that what they want really." Right? If you want to go that close to your customer, how do you go that close to your customer? Right? I mean, okay, this is the mantra. This is something which a great inventor, a great marketer has basically said. And Apple being valued, being the largest or the biggest company in the world. What does it really mean, right? So let us understand this a little bit in detail, okay? So this is a report which is of March 2023, okay? Online traffic, pan India में जितना भी online traffic चलता है, Hindi is okay with everyone, right? I can continue with Hindi, right? Okay. तो हिंदी इंग्लिश में मिक्स करते रहूँगा। मार्च 2023 का ये ट्रैफिक रिपोर्ट है, जहाँ पे बोलते हैं कि ऑनलाइन ट्रैफिक जो भी बन रहा है in March 2023, 79.5% of the online traffic was coming from mobile, okay? 19.9% came from desktop and only 0.6% came from some sort of a tablet. This can be an iPad or whatever. Mobile can be all types of mobile, and desktop one can be a laptop or a PC. तो मोबाइल पे 79.5% लोग ऑनलाइन कुछ ना कुछ कर रहे हैं। अब इतने ज्यादा लोग अगर ऑनलाइन आपके कोई भी चीज के ऊपर जा रहे हैं 79.5%, which is the largest, okay? Don't you think that we should be focusing over online or focusing on mobile when it comes to online? मोबाइल है, डेस्कटॉप है, आईपैड है, टैबलेट्स है, राइट? अभी मोबाइल से अगर इतना बड़ा वॉल्यूम है तो फिर अगर वहां पे अगर आपने ज्यादा फोकस किया तो 79.5% ऑडियंस के ऊपर आप फोकस कर रहे हो। मेजॉरिटी चीजें वहां पे एफर्ट डालेंगे, अनलेस माइनॉरिटी के ऊपर हमारा वैसा नीश प्रोडक्ट है। Where we can say first screenshot पे we give them a warning. Okay, you've taken a screenshot, my app does not allow you to take a screenshot. Please do not take a screenshot or we will block your application. The second time the person takes a screenshot, the user is automatically blocked. But these two images are saved on this phone. Okay, now जो इमेज उसके फोन में सेव हुआ वो मैं आपको भी भेज दूंगा कि ये कस्टमर ने ये दो फोटो स्क्रीनशॉट लिए हैं। So you are 100% aware कि कौन से कस्टमर ने क्या चीज की। Another thing is when the customer comes on the application and uses the application, we keep telling them over and over again during the usage of the application, the first time and multiple times as well, that they are not supposed to take screenshots and else your user will be blocked. So मुझे पता नहीं था ये सिर्फ एक excuse होगा और कुछ नहीं होगा. So you have this particular mechanism. Third thing what we have in the application is यूजर ने पासवर्ड शेयर किया। आपको मैंने अगर एक्सेस दे दिया, आपने मेरे कंप्यूटर को एक्सेस दे दिया, तो मेरा डिजाइन तो वो भी देखेगा आराम से, बराबर? तो व्हाट वी हैव डन इज वी बाइंड दैट पर्टिकुलर यूजर। अगर एक पर्टिकुलर यूजर अगर आपको दिया है मैंने, तो आपके डिवाइस के ऊपर हम बाइंड कर देते हैं कि वो आप ही के डिवाइस के ऊपर चलेगा और कोई डिवाइस पे नहीं चलेगा। Second, another thing with the same, like I actually have 4 parameters for that matter, is we block it in the geography as well. So आप जिधर से लॉगिन कर रहे हो ना, वो सेंटर पॉइंट पकड़ लेंगे कि भाई इधर ये बंदा यहाँ का है। तो अगर मैं अंधेरी से लॉगिन कर रहा हूँ तो मैंने अंधेरी का एक जियो लोकेशन क्रिएट कर दिया। ये अगर जमीन बाजार से लॉगिन करने को जाऊँ तो बोलेगा भाई लोकेशन अलग हो गया, रिक्वेस्ट वापस भेजो। Yeah, so we are trying to give it even if it is the same device. This is all flexible from you. Okay, so you can say कि मेरे को कोई restriction नहीं चाहिए, भले किधर से भी access करे. Okay, आप वो भी बोल सकते हो कि भाई मेरे को कोई भी device से access करे, वो भी okay. आप वो भी बोल सकते हो कि भाई मेरे को screenshot allow करने का है तो ठीक है, वो भी okay. So it is all in your control how much control you want to do with your customer. Another thing is we always suggest to never give 100% access to a customer. Do not give that. You are always giving selective access to the customer. That means if my customer is demanding for bangles, I only want to give them access to bangles. I will not give access to rings. B2B में वैसा नहीं होता कि बैंगल देख ले तो बीच में थोड़ा रिंग भी देख ले, वो अलग एक्टिविटी है, वो अलग मार्केटिंग का प्लान है उसका। अभी जो उसको चाहिए ना वही जाएगा। So when you are sharing bangles with that particular customer, you are only sharing bangles along with one more additional thing which is an expiry date. So the access is limited till a particular date and time, only creating 2 things: urgency to look at the product, also to make sure that your window of monitoring is limited. Again, you have have the flexibility. अच्छे customers हैं, सालों से इनसे काम हो रहा है, इनको 100% access दे दो, इनको unlimited access दे दो. You have all that flexibility in place as well. So you can decide who to give access.
Price negotiation वो ऐप पे कैसे हो?
Price negotiation ऐप पे कैसे हो? So there are two ways in doing this, right? सबसे पहला तो आप हर क्लाइंट के हिसाब से अलग-अलग प्राइस मास्टर सेट करके रख सकते हो. So अगर मेरे 5 अलग-अलग टाइप वैरायटी के क्लाइंट्स हैं, रिटेल, होलसेल, इमीडिएट पेमेंट, 30 डे क्रेडिट, 90 डे क्रेडिट, मैं हर एक का अलग-अलग पेमेंट में हर एक का जो वेस्टेजेस है मैं अलग-अलग डिफाइन करके रख सकता हूँ. पहला चीज तो वो हो गया. सेकंड चीज हो गया कि व्हेन नेगोशिएशन वाला जो पार्ट है, व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग टू योर कस्टमर्स एंड यू आर डीलिंग विद योर कस्टमर्स एंड योर प्राइस नेगोशिएशन कम्स इनटू प्ले, द मेन रोल कम्स इन ऑफ द सेल्स पर्सन. अब सेल्स पर्सन कस्टमर के साथ बैठा हुआ है, कस्टमर उधर प्राइस पे नेगोशिएट कर रहा है, बट उसको फाइनल डॉक्यूमेंट देने के लिए ना हमको बैक ऑफिस का रोल लेना पड़ता है. दैट रोल विल कंप्लीटली रिमूव. द सेल्स पर्सन हैज द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी वेयर ही कैन चेंज द वेस्टेज टू अ पर्टिकुलर लिमिट, ओके, वेयर यू कैन डिफाइन कि कितना परसेंटेज लिमिट कर सकता हूं. So the salesperson can change the pricing and then share a quotation again. If the salesperson is not involved in your process, then customer can place a request. You can change your quotation in the system directly and directly आपके customer को intimation. Any other questions which we would have to? Anyone would like to see the application? I would show you the application as well. Anything we can do it post show. I guess I'm done with my presentation as such. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We have some snacks also. Like that. Tea. I think tea is served outside. We'll be here so you can.
Which makes India the 8th largest, top 8th country with the highest average amount of interaction happening on the mobiles in the first place. Okay? अब दिन का 5 घंटा कोई आदमी मोबाइल पे है, 79.5% of the audience is all coming via mobile. It's but obvious that you need to be mobile first, right? अब mobile first के अंदर बात किया तो फिर you have, all of us have so many smartphones. How many times you go to a website to do a particular transaction if you already have an app? अगर आपके पास पेटीएम का ऐप है तो आप पेटीएम के ऐप से काम करोगे कि पेटीएम के वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, राइट? आपके पास अगर XYZ कैरेट लिंक का भी अगर ऐप है, ठीक है, तो कैरेट लिंक के ऐप के थ्रू जाओगे कि कैरेट लिंक के वेबसाइट के थ्रू जाओगे? अब क्यों है ये? What is the difference? Why are you using the app and not the website? We talk about user interactivity, user ease of use. The whole way, the method in which apps are created are more user friendly. Okay? Now, having this as an established base point, लोग मोबाइल पे है, मोबाइल पे सबसे ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड हो रहा है, और हमें अगर बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस मोबाइल पे देना है तो फिर वेबसाइट वर्सेस ऐप का डिस्कशन इधर खत्म होना चाहिए. वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन ऐप. नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू टेक वन deviation at this particular point. I'm purely talking about the B2B space. Okay, अब B2B space का मतलब क्या होता है? A B2B space in India, conventionally, like the entire landscape of jewelry industry in India is what? You have manufacturers, you've got wholesalers, and then you've got retailers, correct? B2B का मतलब क्या है कि जो भी retail के आगे है, okay, वो हमारे consumer हो गए. उनको अगर आप बेच रहे हो तो आप B2C हो, right? So if you are a manufacturer selling to a wholesaler, if you are a manufacturer selling to a retailer, if you are a wholesaler selling to a retailer, you fall under the B2B space, okay? And the entire B2B audience in India is mobile friendly. They want to do everything on mobile. आज के डेट पे majority of the commerce is happening on WhatsApp by unprofessional, unorganized manner. If no one is sitting, any of the manufacturers, any of the wholesalers, or any of the retailers, when they are doing purchasing decision, they are not sitting in front of sophisticated laptops and computers, even if they have that fancy iPad. They would have that fancy iPad in their office, but they would do all their business on the mobile, right? So this B2B space के अंदर, I would want to make it clear that let's stop and let's understand that app के अलावा और कोई option नहीं है, because वहाँ पे लोग सबसे ज़्यादा time spend कर रहे हैं. B2C on the other hand is very different, okay? B2B में business कैसे हो रहा है? How are you really doing business in B2B, right? So you either know your customer, the customer visited you in some exhibition, your salesperson visited this particular customer. There's a lot of connection which is happening because there's a lot of repeat business which you are getting in B2B. ये deep connection अगर acquire करने के लिए जो हम effort डालते हैं, वो effort is comparatively very different when it comes to B2C. B2C मतलब इंडिया का population या world का population. आप उनको बेचने की ट्राई कर रहे हो versus this B2B business which is a very small portion of the entire population of the entire world. So B2B is very targeted, B2C is very generic. When you're trying to do generic, okay, your marketing effort is going to be generic again, right? So आप बोलोगे कि I would want to create social media advertisements, I want to keep billboards, I want to keep various different methods of marketing. अब ये सारे मेथड ऑफ मार्केटिंग में अगर कस्टमर को एक ऐप डाउनलोड करना पड़ जाए आपके प्रोडक्ट देखने के लिए, तो वो बोलेगा छोटा भाई बहुत सारे वेबसाइट अवेलेबल है, right? So when you talk about A2C, you're talking about a website. When you're talking about a B2B, people are not going to a website, they're looking on apps. Okay? So this is a very clear demarcation between how a B2B and B2C B2B and a B2C customer should be first of all thinking when you talk about the online space. Yeah. Now, when you do all of this, when you're doing all of this, you're doing exhibitions, you're doing marketing, you're doing all your different types of marketing campaigns. What is it that you're mainly focusing on? You're focusing on brand visibility, you're focusing on brand awareness, you're talking about brand recognition, and you're not talking about brand recall. Any form of marketing activity which you do cannot be directly proportional to some sale factor which you got, because वो कभी मैट्रिक्स मैच ही नहीं करेगा. आपने मार्केटिंग किया, आपका ब्रांड रिकॉल हुआ, आपको 6 महीने बाद एक बंदा जाके सेल किया, परचेज किया, तो ये कैसे क्वांटिफाई करो? But branding is what you're basically looking at, which is all of these 4 pointers, which you're mainly focusing on when you're doing any marketing activities, right? So, how do you achieve sales efficiency when you create an application, ये app बन गया, उसमें sales efficiency का मतलब क्या होता है? मतलब मेरी बात तो sales efficiency है क्या? What do you mean by sales efficiency? So, as a B2B business, your main goal is to generate revenue by increasing the number of inventory or designs, या increasing के जितने ज़्यादा लोग आपका डिजाइन और इन्वेंटरी देखेंगे वो आपको इंक्रीज करना है, राइट? और क्या रिड्यूस करना है आपको? आपका कॉस्ट रिड्यूस करना है, टाइम रिड्यूस करना है और लोग को रिड्यूस करना है, राइट? यू वांट दैट मैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा प्रोडक्ट लोगों को दिखा सकूं इन सबसे सस्ते से सस्ते एक्सपेंडिचर में, इन द लीस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम आई कैन शो इट टू मोर नंबर ऑफ पीपल, एंड बाय नॉट हैविंग अ बिग ओवरहेड ऑफ अ ह्यूज टीम बिहाइंड मी टू डू ऑल ऑफ दिस एक्टिविटी, राइट? दिस इज द एंटायर थिंग ऑफ when we talk about sales efficiency in B2B, right? How do you achieve your sales efficiency when it comes to a B2B application? Okay, so first of all, B2B, as I said, it is very targeted. No? You know exactly कि मेरे को कौन से मेरा particular type का जो डिजाइन है वो कौन से सिटी में है, कौन से एरिया में है, क्या क्या डेमोग्राफिक्स में है, क्या थोड़ा बहुत इसके अंदर वो टेस्ट भी आ जाता है कि क्या टेस्ट का जो एरिया है उसके अंदर चलेगा, which is the top. I have many competitors, so my competitors are going where. You know very precisely where your customer lies. So when you're talking about sales efficiency in the B2B space, the first most important thing is that you're targeting your existing set of, you're creating a niche of your of the entire the customer base which you can possibly have. Now with B2B application, for an effective to make sure that your sales process is more efficient, you first have to target your existing set of customers. Okay, every B2B business is doing multiple business with the same set of customer or same customer for a very very long amount of time. It's not like a B2C cycle कि आज purchase हुआ, today there was a different experience and a different customer, tomorrow we have a very different customer altogether. B2B, you're talking about a lot of repeat business happening with your customers, and that is what generates that volume which you're looking for, though the margins can be comparatively wafer thin, but the volumes is what you're basically playing when you're talking about the B2B business. So you first need to target your existing set of customers so that they are firstly in focus. If अगर आपके existing set of customers के साथ ये sales process which we are going to talk about वो achieve कर दिया, then this can be replicated to new customers, to everyone. So the biggest problem which we have seen, people who probably just jump too quickly into this without doing this, what I'm talking about, is owner को अगर पूछो तो owner को सब पता है कि मेरे को क्या अचीव करना है, मेरा ऐप क्या करेगा, मेरे ऐप में कैसे डिजाइन दिखेगा, मेरे ऐप के ऊपर प्रोडक्ट्स कैसे लिस्ट किए हुए हैं, बट उसके अलावा उसके जितना लेवल नीचे जाओगे, मतलब उसके बाद उसका सेल्स हेड क्यों, उसके बाद उसका सेल्स टीम हो, उसके बाद उसका जो डिस्प्ले कर रहे हैं प्रोडक्ट अगर स्टोर में या एग्जीबिशन में उसको, या उसके नीचे चले जाओगे भाई जो हमारा हाउसकीपिंग का काम कर रहे हैं, ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक जो है ना, ये सिर्फ नॉलेज कम होते जाएगा. It cannot be that way. You need to make this particular thing a part of your culture. You have to make it a part of your sales process, right? Till the time your app does not become extremely important for the entire company, it cannot be, it will not be harnessed. आप उसका full potential नहीं निकाल पाओगे. you need to provide that technical training to your sales team. You need to engage with your audience. आपका जो user है उनसे बात करना पड़ेगा. Physically आपको बात करना पड़ेगा उनसे कि भाई exactly what has been the experience. If you want to achieve a seamless working process by creating any of these mobile B2B applications, right? Let this be a B2B experience or let it be a good B2C experience. All of this more or less falls in place. The audience is a little different, but you have to achieve all of this only then you're talking about sales efficiency. Otherwise, it's not really efficient, right? As I said, we're talking about sales efficiency or organized growth. So how do we do that with the help of B2B application is what my focus in this particular meeting is, right? So you need to engage with your users and measure and analyze every small little thing, right? कौन सा प्रोडक्ट चला, कौन सा प्रोडक्ट नहीं चला, कौन सा कस्टमर चला, कौन सा आपने जो पर्टिकुलर एरिया को टारगेट किया वो चला नहीं चला, right? When you meticulously are planning every activity by taking into matrices, by taking account of matrices, you will find the results in your own activity itself. You don't need to do any other extra things. You will find the results in this particular matrices, and you need to continuously keep improving, right? So when you find these matrices, you fix the problems, you improve what your what has worked for you. So it's not always to find problems and to fix them, but it is also to find what has worked the best for you and fuel that with as much amount of energy as you can. अगर आपका एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप का डिजाइन मार्केट में चल जाता है तो क्या हम बोलते हैं कि नहीं अभी दूसरे आदमी का ये डिजाइन चल रहा है मैं वो करूंगा? नहीं ना, हम क्या बोलेंगे कि भाई ये डिजाइन चल रहा है तो ये डिजाइन का और कितना अच्छा हो सकता है और कौन सा मार्केट मिल सकता है. You're fueling that particular thing which has worked for you so that becomes a bigger fire, right? So till the time you're not looking at all of these aspects very clearly, till then there is going to be a gap in sales efficiency. There's going to be a gap in how smoothly your business functions, and that's when the B2B app हो, website हो, कुछ भी नहीं हो, आप ही काम करो, right? So it is your team, you who are working. It is no system which is working for you. Now, what are the must-have things in your application, right? What is the must-have things which you should have in the app? Now, before I go to this particular presentation or this particular slide, I would like to show you a small video. deep into exactly what all features your application must have. All right. So we're going to skip all of this. We can share this video with you later. Alright, so we were talking about आपके ऐप में होना क्या चाहिए. It is the bare basic things which you're supposed to have in your application, which makes it actually work. I've been working in the jewelry industry for the past 12 years. I have made close to about 600 odd applications which I have overall created in this entire journey of 12 years. I have 500 plus customers using the application on day-to-day basis every day. Okay, so they have been able to make the application an integral part of their entire working style. Okay, how they are working and how they are selling to the customers, so that it is integrated in their sales process. अब वो करने के लिए these are some of my learnings and understandings, and that's what we've integrated inside our application. So when I'm talking about all of these points, everything is available in a product which is called JESPA. So let me just explain you in detail or give you a glimpse of it to start with. First of all, your application needs to be extremely quick, and it needs to be, we should not have any buffering time or major loading time to access the content on your application. सबसे ज़्यादा dropouts वो होता है जब आपका application या website खुलता ही नहीं है. So it needs to have an extremely fast interface, okay? And it needs to be extremely easy to use. If it is not easy for a user to join, now again, if I'm talking about B2B trade, we know that overall education in the jewelry industry is comparatively very, very limited, right? We're talking about a large number of, मैं आपको एक specific की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, talking about the general large population in the jewelry industry. So जितना easy होगा, उतना ज़्यादा interactivity या product देखने के लिए आसान होगा. जितना ज़्यादा complex करोगे, जितना ज़्यादा jargons use करोगे, जितना ज़्यादा उसको sophisticated बनाने का try करोगे, it would look nice, but it will not give you the results which you're looking for. So try to think like your customer and then make the application instead of making application as per your own presentation style, right? So that's the first most important thing. Your application needs to be as detailed as possible. You should have every detailed information in your application. Now let me put some light on this particular thing. Okay? We live in an age where we are dealing with Amazon, Flipkart, Zomato, Swiggy on day-to-day basis. Either of them, yeah? Or let's say Blinkit or Dunzo or something or the other, which is basically is something or the other if any of these applications we are dealing with on day-to-day basis. Yet, majority of us would have never called their customer or sales executive, customer support or sales executive to ask them anything about anything. इसका क्या प्राइस है नहीं पूछा है किसी को, मेरा प्रोडक्ट कब डिलीवर होगा नहीं पूछा है किसी को. We have never asked any kind of questions to anyone in any of these applications which we use daily. In fact, that's the user experience which all of us are used to. That means all your customers are also used to that. If your customers are not finding the answers of their questions on your app, okay, you've lost this. So you need to have your application to cover as many detailed information as possible and as many FAQs which would be required by the customer. जो चीज वो frequently पूछेगा, उसका सारा आंसर आपको application के अंदर मिल जाना चाहिए. If not, okay, then it is going to be a drop sale because the customer is living in that age. We are all living in that age कि हमको वो contact करना है, WhatsApp करना है, call करना है. We need it as minimal as possible, right? You need to have the facility, the customer needs to have the facility to customize. Like अभी अगर आप लोग we go to anything, we go to a Zomato for that matter, you are ordering a pizza. Okay, अगर पिज्जा बोला कि भाई ये पिज्जा मिलेगा, ये पिज्जा मिलेगा, will we buy it? No, we are getting all the form of options to customize it, right? That is what they're used to, right? Similarly, when a person comes to your store or you comes to your B2B office, right? He is looking at your designs and asking for various different type of customizations. Ring size से लेके stone का color, which type of stone, which quality of diamond, which tone of the of metal, everything is deciding or he's choosing based on his own requirements, right? That flexibility again the customer needs to have on the application. It cannot be a vanilla. It cannot be कि भाई ये product है हमारा, right? So till the time it is not that flexible enough to give you the right customization parameters, it's not going to really work out, right? The customer needs to get all the different types of filter and searching criteria. Customer को least amount of time में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा काम करने को अगर आप enable करोगे तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा business किसको मिलेगा, आपको मिलेगा. Right? If your customer has to spend too much of time in navigating the product only, तो फिर वो उसका टाइम दिमाग में तो इतना ही है, मेरे को आधा घंटा आज बैठने का इस चीज के लिए. उसके अंदर उसको 4 बार डिस्ट्रैक्शन होगा। अगर वो 4 डिस्ट्रैक्शन में उसका चेन ऑफ थॉट अगर वेव ऑफ हो गया, तो द बिजनेस लॉस इज कमिंग टू यू, इट्स नॉट द कस्टमर who's basically losing anything out of this, right? So you have to make sure that it's easy enough to search and find the right kind of products, and this has nothing to do with a general market practice. This is the biggest problem which we deal with many customers. Majority of the customers would say, I want to make a B2B application. Okay, I ask them what type of products do you have and what's the flow going to be? How do you categorize your product and how will you find the right product, right? And what they say is, आप मुझे आपके 5 एप्लीकेशन आपने जो बनाया है वो भेजो, मैं उसके हिसाब से मेरा बना के देता हूँ, राइट? सो मतलब they will say that okay, अगर मैं कास्टिंग ज्वेलरी में हूँ तो मैं तन्वी गोल्ड का एप्लीकेशन देख लूंगा, उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि मैं रिंग्स पे क्लिक किया, इयरिंग पे क्लिक किया या नेकलेस पे क्लिक किया तो डायरेक्टली प्रोडक्ट आ गया। ये उनका मार्केटिंग स्टाइल था, उन्होंने उसके पीछे क्या एफर्ट किया वो किसको नहीं पता, राइट? बट ये उनको दिखा तन्वी गोल्ड का, वो गए बीके ज्वेल्स के एप्लीकेशन में, दे आर एबल टू सी अ वेरी डीप लेवल ऑफ कैटेगरी सब कैटेगराइजेशन, ग्रेट। दे सी एमरल्ड्स एप्लीकेशन, दे सी इवन मोर डीपर कैटेगरी सब कैटेगरी हायरार्की, ओके? सो दे कम समवेयर इन बिटवीन, ना एकदम कम ना एकदम ज्यादा, कुछ बीच में लाके वो लोग हमको कैटेगरी सब कैटेगरी स्ट्रक्चर दे देते हैं। अब ये कैटेगरी सब कैटेगरी स्ट्रक्चर हम उनको सिखाते कैसे डेटा एंटर करने का, पर कस्टमर को समझ में नहीं आता है। This is an exercise which we have with each and every customer when we are dealing with them and onboarding with them, is what does your salesperson refer? What does your customer refer? What is your customer asking for and how are you showcasing your products? That is the way your category subcategory needs to be dealt with, and not how the entire industry जैसे कर रहा है वैसे हम करें. And this is very different from different people. I have clients who also say that मुझे मेरा category subcategory ऐसा करना है कि 2 से 5 ग्राम का अंगूठी, 5 से 7 ग्राम का अंगूठी, 7 से 12 ग्राम का अंगूठी, क्योंकि मुझे उसके अलावा उनको फिल्टर करने का ऑप्शन देना ही नहीं है। कस्टमर क्यों जाके इतना फिल्टर करे, ये ब्रैकेट में काम करना है ना उनको, तो इसी को क्लिक करके प्रोडक्ट देख ले। This is the right approach over giving that ease of use to your customer, depending upon how your customer deals with it. There's no right or wrong way in this. It just means how your customers have been habituated to deal with you, or your salesperson are habituated to deal with the customer. That's how your B2B application needs to function. You need to have real-time quotations. सबसे बड़ा टाइम लॉस कहाँ पे होता है? कस्टमर ने कोई प्रोडक्ट सिलेक्शन किया, वो बोलते हैं फिर इसका हिसाब भेजो, कितने का होगा, क्या होगा, फिर बाद में वो आप कस्टमर वो ऑर्डर आपका कोई इंटरनल मैनेजर कोई सेल्स पर्सन उसको कोड बनाता है या कुछ करता है, वो कोड बना के वापस उसको भेजता है, वो बाद में उसके ऊपर नेगोशिएट करता है, वो वापस कोड बनाता है, वो वापस उसको भेजता है। सबसे बड़ा टाइम लॉस यहाँ पे, सबसे बड़ा टाइम लॉस और सबसे बड़ा गैप्स यहाँ पे है, राइट? The same thing happens in exhibitions for that particular matter, right? In an exhibition, you spend lakhs of rupees to be and present your products there. Just the exhibition and marketing cost, inventory cost to छोड़ दो एक बार, right? That much amount of money you spend in that particular area to showcase your product in a better way. And the selections which comes in, you take all the selection and the quotation or the details of the entire quotation is not given to the customer there and there itself. It's done later in the time frame. That's what creates the gap. That's what creates the problem. If the customer knows exactly what his cost is going to be, क्या wastage लग रहा है, क्या fine बन रहा है, rate cut करना है, क्या rate cut कर दिया, कितना RTGS करना है. This information, if it is someday visible to the customer on the table, your transaction ends. So your real-time quotation is a very, very important factor when it comes to having a B2B ecosystem in place. Apart from that, you need to showcase your live inventory. क्या live available है is something which all wholesalers have to showcase it in their application, and it cannot just be a design catalog for that matter for wholesalers, because a wholesaler is already keeping a very large rich stock in his store. एक कस्टमर आके अगर उसमें से कुछ सिलेक्शन करता है आपके ऐप के ऊपर, और अगर आप उनको फोन करके बोलते हो कि भाई इसके अंदर जो है ना आपने जो सिलेक्शन किया उसमें से 60% अवेलेबल है बट 40% अवेलेबल नहीं है, उसका मिलता जुलता भेज दो, ठीक है? तो कस्टमर ने वो जो आधा घंटा 1 घंटा आपके ऐप के ऊपर स्पेंड किया, that's gone for a waste. Do you think that person is going to spend that 30-40 minutes or 1 hour on your application the second time? He will come back and tell you कि आपके पास अवेलेबल हो, प्लीज भेज दीजिए मुझे, मैं उसमें से सिलेक्शन करता हूँ. You will go back to zero. Right? So as a wholesaler, you must make sure that your application is showing your live inventory, and only then the results are going to be achievable. Yeah? You need to accept all types of orders. So there are, as a manufacturer wholesaler, you get 3 types of orders. You get design selections कि ये डिजाइन का मुझे XYZ pieces चाहिए. You get custom orders कि मुझे ये एक अंगूठी है, मुझे ऐसा ऐसा अंगूठी बना के चाहिए, मैंने फोटो निकाल के भेज दिया. तीसरा, you get bulk order which is a blanket order. Okay, मुझे 1 ग्राम से 1 ग्राम के बीच में का इतना किलो का ऑर्डर चाहिए, ये ऐसे ऐसे टाइप के डिजाइन वाले. Right? So any of these 3 parameters you should be able to accept on your application and make that process a part of your application so that your customer does not get delinked because of one type of order process. Okay? Complete visibility of the order should be available on the application. That means the customer should know. मैंने जैसे बताया आपको ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के बाद जब तक ऑर्डर आपके पास आ नहीं जाता है, क्या आप जाके कभी Amazon पे देखते हो कि मेरा ऑर्डर का क्या स्टेटस है? Amazon खुद ही भेज देता है आपको कि आपका ऑर्डर इधर पहुंचा, ये डेट पे आ जाएगा, इधर पहुंचा, ये डेट पे आ जाएगा, इधर पहुंचा, ये डेट पे आ जाएगा. That's the type of interactivity needs to happen. So every process in the entire order process, अगर ऑर्डर प्लेस करने से ऑर्डर डिलीवर होने तक जितने भी स्टेजेस बीच में इन्वॉल्व है, let that be manufacturing stages, let that be shipment stages, just मेरी इन्वेंटरी था, मैंने शिप कर दिया, BBC में दे दिया, तो BBC का क्या स्टेजेस चल रहा है, BBC ने कभी डिलीवर करने वाला, उसका एक्सपेक्टेड डिलीवरी डेट क्या है, ये कस्टमर तक पहुंचाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. that has to happen digitally via the application. And your application should be flexible enough to integrate with any kind of third-party softwares. That means you want to integrate with accounting, marketing, logistics, inventory management, B2C, B2B कर रहे हो, B2C का वेबसाइट चाहिए, B2C कर रहे हो, B2B का ऐप चाहिए. It needs to be integrated well with all the different other software which is available in the market to make it flexible for you to keep branching and finding the best things possible around this entire jewelry industry. And that's what JESPA actually does, right? So JESPA का main motive वो है कि हम जो पूरा e-commerce space में जितने भी अलग-अलग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडर्स हैं, वो एक दूसरे से पहले तो इंटीग्रेट हो गए, राइट? दूसरा चीज हम और एक्सपांड करके आपके सामने रख रहे हैं कि अगर आप ज्वेल फ्लो यूज कर रहे हो तो इसके साथ आपको इंटीग्रिटी ऑर्बिट से भी इंटीग्रेट कर लो. योर फोटोग्राफी एंड योर कैटलॉगिंग बिकम सीमलेस. सो entering data and getting pictures are no longer a hassle, right? So like this you need to have the flexibility to have as many number of third-party integrations as possible, right? Now I'm going to skip a few of these so that you can actually get to more on the application, right? So I'm going to share 2 success stories with you. In fact, I'm going to share 4 success stories with you here. I'm going to first show you about this is some statistics which I'm talking about. First is Rohtak Chain or Chain House. This is based out of Delhi, okay? They've got 17,000 registered users on the application. So let me give you a little background, okay? Rohtak Chains or Chain House is a wholesale company. They manufacture also, but their manufacturing is comparatively less in terms of turnover compared to what they wholesale. So wholesale customer है Delhi का. They've got 17,000 registered users on the application. Have more than 1 lakh app downloads. 550 real people, real users of the application have gone on the App Store, Play Store and written live reviews about their application. Okay, their average rating is about 4.5. जितने reviews मतलब user reviews जब लिखते हैं तब rating देना पड़ता है. तो their average review is 4.5. Yeah. There are, at any point of time during the working days, working hours, okay, you check what is the number of active users on the app. You will get at least 650 people on the application at any point of time. Okay, we've seen this working hours से भी ज़्यादा for that matter. We've seen it literally from 10 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock in the evening, at night. You have 650 people on an average on their application at any point of time. More than 3,500 orders has been placed on the applications, processed from the application and delivered via the application. Okay, more than 4,000 people use the application every week. To look at content, to look at products, to look at the designs and inventory which is available on their application. Now, by saying all of this, what's really happening here? अभी ये कंपनी जिसके पास 17,000 ऑडियंस है, वो अगर एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर वो 0.25% टच को कम करके अगर एक ऑफर रिलीज कर दे, तो his inventory will sell out. Right? What has he done? He's built the audience with the application. He's built the audience. He's created the people. People are there on the application. People are actively there on the application. He's done that effort. We started working with them during COVID. That's I think 2021, not 2020. 2020 COVID. 2021, the second or third way I don't remember. But that is when we started working with them. And since then, this is the result which we have been seeing with Rohtak Chains. Okay, so they've multiple times done these offers as well, where they've just released their inventory on their application, saying that this is an only app inventory. You will not find this in my store if you come here. It is an only app inventory, and that is available at XYZ particular discount. And the lead time, so they called it inventory, but then basically had a different lead time to it altogether. Basically, it was made to order, but these products were such that it can be manufactured within 2 or 3 days and can be delivered to the customer within that 7 working day time frame. By just releasing an offer, by investing zero in inventory, by releasing an offer and investing so much of time and effort in this entire application, they were able to reach out to that particular audience and sell out the expected amount which they were seeing in less than, I think, about 24 hours. So that's the power when you really have a B2B app moving, right? I would like to share another case study with you. This is of Tajmi Goldcast, which is out of Rajkot. They are into casting jewelry manufacturing, right? They are a pure casting jewelry manufacturer. Now, casting jewelry, when they do everything, like planes, and everything is done by them. Now, they have about 4,500 users registered on the application. 10,000 app downloads are there. About 100 people have left some reviews. 4.8 rating here. But all of this is okay. These are numbers which we can like and but it does not really business, right? What really makes difference is this. They have 7,500 orders which they have received, processed, and delivered via the application. Now, if anyone here knows Tanvi Goldcast, they do not do chutbook orders, and casting industry does not do chutbook orders any which ways, right? They will not get an order of 3 rings and 5 rings. These are always orders which is above bare minimum, at least about 250 grams, bare minimum. Now, you can do your mathematics here. We're all jewelers here, so I'm sure that mathematics and weight calculation is amazing. You can do the calculation here. 7,500 orders, bare minimum, on an average bare minimum to 200 to 250 grams of an order. You can do the math. That's the business which they have generated by using the application on a regular basis. With 4,500 people registered on the app. 1,000 people are regularly accessing the application on a weekly basis, right? So it's about not just creating your application. Like I said, if you want to really get sales efficiency, it has to be a part of the process. You need to make sure that you're engaged with your customers. This process is giving you this kind of a result, and we can help you in achieving that result. We've been doing it for the past 12 years, as I said. We've got various different case studies and various different examples to give you, and various different achievements which we have done with different customers. So we've worked with every different segment of jewelry, let it be any type of jewelry manufacturing for that matter. We've worked with someone or the other, and we have already seen or understood the challenges of that particular type of jewelry or that particular type of market. So when you work with us, right, you get all of that expertise that how are you going to really tackle that B2B space. Of course, we are a service provider who's going to provide you tech enablement, right? But it's your hard work and your dedication towards your application which can make this a proper success. Yeah. Same 2020 they started, before 2000, yeah, 3 years. So I'm going to share 2 more case studies with you. This is Oro Bangles, if you guys know about Oro Bangles. They make CNC bangles.
benefits of Sony goes here because carrying Sony goes from previously is not practical. We have to obviously I recommend the regular download the app and select it and then you distribute it. So
that was Mr. Avinash Moja from Oro, just talking about his overall experience. I've got another one from the same space, in fact, the Bangle CNC Bangle manufacturing space, to just give you some, share his experiences.
Logistics in terms of getting across our borders, in terms of getting the products of our products. That's where we came across the idea that we should be developing something like an application which is easily available. And during that time, we came across a Triologic that does develop this that we have all the necessary features for all our products, all of those having a variety of filtrations and has helped us gain a lot of market share, places where products generally we've been associated with Triologic for the last few years. This journey has us the numbers of issues, right from our Spare app to our Expo app, working on our things on the factory management. We are a very trusted partner, understand the market, understand the jewelry industry, and providing solutions that are the need of the hour. Especially if someone has a need to market their products without distribution. I think it's a fabulous product because we have all kinds of additives in terms of analytics, in terms of filtration, in terms of data filtration, and other features we have where we can actually look at the features of products, different angles, different variations, and also get more details of the product in terms of the weight, price point, all of the ingredients. It's all in one of our and we download our like you see here, the Expo app that we have developed and it helps us to manage our distribution, where managing the distribution is great. We company is less equipment and more area to display. As you see, just a single tablet is good enough. You don't need a laptop or a scanner to do your job. It's as simple as just pointing, the QR code from the camera. It's that. So you see, you can have all the ingredients of the order in terms of pieces, in terms of quantity, in terms of size. Put your remarks in, and you're done. You're just ready to.
That's basically just Moja from the Mara giving us a small experience what they have. That's pretty much it from my side. If you guys have any questions regarding my application, yes, please.
Actually, we bigger, right? So exactly the way
कस्टमर के पास पहुंचाना है, राइट? आज हम लोग मेथड समझते हैं, क्या क्या मेथड्स है पहुंचाने के। अभी क्या कर रहे हो?
physical piece लेके जा रहे हो।
So you're showing physical pieces, yeah, you're probably creating a PDF, you're sending some emails, you're sending something on WhatsApp, right? Technically some images आपने ऐसी silver plate के अंदर उनको दे दी है। In the application, right, there are 3 security parameters which we take care of. One is screenshots, which is the most common method in which we will take away our designs, right? So the screenshots is 100% locked on Android, which is the biggest usage in the entire country, right? In our country at least, right? So Android के अंदर हम लोग का screenshots 100% locked है. So if you try to take a screenshot, you try to do a screen recording, you try to mirror it this way and show it to some bunch of people कि ये